I'm going to try to pick him up.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Show is a little early. Well, actually, I'm a little late. Apparently, I mistook the time change from
When I think about my future,
British Columbia to Alberta, and obviously, I thought I had made allowances for the change today, but I missed it. The reason I'm talking quietly is that Mr. Stinky is right over here. I'm going to try to get Mr. Stinky to come on the air so you can see him, and I'll try to get him over on the couch and you can watch him. And yeah, whatever. Anything for a cat, you know. I mean, I do the best I can for a cat. Okay, just 1 second here. Ouch. Don't bite. Mr. Stinky's here, but he wants to bite me. Hi, everybody. Here's Mr. Stinky. He totally doesn't know what's going on, but he's wondering, why did you pick me up? I was having a nice rest, and now you're bugging me. There you go. Why don't you rest there? Yeah, okay. Why don't you rest there? Sure. You ever heard of herding cats? Yeah, okay. He don't play that game. He's now on the floor lying there.
you want me there? Or
You want me there? No, I'm going to lie there. I'm going to lie wherever I want. I'm not playing your little camera games there, buddy. I don't care how many views you think you're getting on YouTube. This pussycat, I'm not playing that game. That's what's going on. I do the best I can, folks. When you don't want him, he's all over you. When you want him, he doesn't want anything to do with you. Mr. Stinky, I do the best I can, folks, for Mr. Stinky. Anyway, welcome to the show. Sorry, I'm starting late for some of you. For most of you, I'm starting on time. The show is on at 5 o'clock Eastern time, and despite my best efforts today, when I loaded up the show to notify the YouTube world that I was going to be on at 5 o'clock Eastern, I evidently missed one little button on my setup feature, which did not take into account the 1 hour time change. I was assuming that I was starting at 2 o'clock British Columbia time, or Los Angeles time, Far West time, Pacific time zone. But the computer thought that I was starting at an hour earlier. So those of you who got notifications that I was going to be on at 4, you probably looked at that and went, no, he didn't say he was going to be on the hour early, did he? He didn't say that yesterday. But some of you thought, well, better be here just in case. And I appreciate you folks coming by. A number of folks were visiting with each other while they were waiting for me to start the show. Those of you who are here now, I see now about 40 of you are here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Mr. Stinky just passed by my feet here. Oh, he's scratching. Can you hear that? Yeah, he's scratching He's scratching his paws on his pad. Let me show you. There he is right down here. See if I can get him on there. There we go. There he is. He's on his little scratch pad there. And he's quite happy. Well, he seems to be. His tail's wagging. He seems pretty happy. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. He's going under the chair now. This is live. This is live YouTubing, folks. This is, you wanted to see action on YouTube. I'm giving it to you.
You know he's gonna lick.
There he is. Yeah, he's going to lick himself. That's right. That's what we want to get. We want to get the action of him licking himself. He's under the table now. Oh yeah, he's right down here. I can't. Yeah, it's a cat. Sorry, folks. Oh man, I have to put the camera on a thing, and then I can just hang the thing down there, and then he'll probably attack it. We don't want to do that. I had to drive to Coeur d'Alene to get this webcam. I don't want to blow it. I don't know where he is now. Anyway, he's doing his thing, and he's just fine. Thank you very much, everybody in YouTube land. He is not playing any other games. Anyway, welcome to the show. Welcome to Traveling with Bruce here, live from Calgary, Alberta. I'm in town visiting my daughter right now with Jennifer, and just doing a couple of shows here from Calgary. And we'll keep you posted. It looks like we're going to be here again tomorrow for the Saturday show, which will have some trivia. And then Sunday, I'm off, and Monday I'm back on the air, and I'm either on the air from here or from Creston. we'll figure it out. You'll know when you see me on Monday at 5 o'clock for my next show. Anyway, there you go. That's it. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining me today. We love talking about, believe it or not, we love talking about cruise ships here, although we do like talking about Mr. Stinky when we see him. Cruise ships and cruise ship news, developments, what's going on in the cruise ship world. If any of you have any questions about going on a trip or what's happening with any particular cruise line or anything like that, let me know. I'll do the best I can to answer it for you. My viewers who join me daily, a lot of them love to cruise, and they'll have answers for you. By the time I read your question, you might already get an answer from one of my existing viewers. And if you're new to the show, I would love to hear from you, especially if you're a first timer. If you're joining me for the first time, love to hear from you. Tell me, just type in there, first time on the air, or first timer watching from, and tell me your hometown. Where are you watching me from? A lot of folks tell me where they watching me from. Eventually, I do remember a lot of the names and where they're from, and I'll mention that. I like to give shout outs to everybody that's on the show here. That's what I do for the second half of the show. And let me know what's your high temperature today. Have you got summer where you are? Because here in Calgary, today is the first day of the Calgary Stampede. They had the big parade this morning. This is traditionally the start of the parade of the Stampede. We're about 51 degrees for the high today. Miserable, rainy, yucky. It's been like this now for 2 whole days. It does not look good. Very, very gray out and sad. The grass loves it. The hedges and the trees are loving it. No dust in the air, lots of water. It's, not too hot, not too cold. Yeah, plants are happy. The humans aren't so happy, and I can imagine anybody riding on a roller coaster today at Stampede Park can't be loving it, because it's going to be cold with a 40-mile-an-hour roller coaster ride. I'm going to be a little cold. So that's the deal out of Calgary where I am, but where are you folks watching me from? Are you getting any summer out there? Let me know how hot you are, and what's the price of gas in your neighborhood? Is it going up or down, and that type of thing? So yeah, please say hi, and the gang who are my regulars, they'll welcome you to the show with open arms. And we love having a PG rated show here, Monday to Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern, Saturdays at 2. The channel continues to grow. For those who have an interest in that, this channel is going to be 24 months old. It'll be 2 years old, August the 12th. Here we are, July the 5th. So we're coming in on month 23. And we were yesterday at, 28,190 subscribers. Now 28,374. We've added almost 200 new subscribers since yesterday's show. Absolutely fantastic. Coming from around the world, viewers from Europe, subscribers from the USA, Canada, Asia, from Australia, New Zealand, from South America, the Caribbean, everywhere. Welcome one, welcome all. I'm so glad you're all here. News today that I was going to talk about. I saw an article today on the internet. A couple of different publications have been picking up on this story. I'm not sure if there was a specific announcement made or not, but looks like a number of organizations, news organizations, have picked up on either a comment made or a statement made, or somebody inferred something. Anyway, there's a story out about the mayor of Barcelona, and the story goes about along the lines of the mayor of Barcelona wants to limit the number of cruise ships coming to Barcelona, limit the number of aircraft coming in and out, and I think the overall kind of premise of the piece was really to somehow curtail the number of tourists coming into Barcelona. Barcelona is a victim of its own success. Venice is somewhat a victim of its own success. Dubrovnik is a victim of Game of Thrones, no question about that. Amsterdam is a victim of its own success. Many, many European cities are having issues with over-tourism. I just read also about an hour ago, Paris is having issues with over-tourism. I can imagine there are a number of villages and towns and cities 50 kilometers outside of Paris who wouldn't mind more tourists, but the big boy on the block is who gets the attention, and the Eiffel Tower is in Paris, and it's not in a village nearby. And in the case of Barcelona, it has a number of attractions that attract millions of tourists a year. Now, the country of Spain size of California sort of thing. The country of Spain brings in 80 million tourists a year as a country. It's huge. Italy, France, Germany, millions and millions of passengers a year coming in all manner of transportation, whether people are driving in with their own vehicles, their own campers, taking in bus rides, coming in by train, by plane, and by cruise ship. Barcelona, 50-odd million visitors. If I recall my numbers, let me just check my notes here. I've made a few notes to try to give you an idea of just how successful Barcelona has become, unfortunately, for it. Let's take a look here. Yeah, over 50 million passengers have come into the Barcelona airport in the last year. That, of course, is tourist and business travel and just residents coming and going. 82 million for Spain as a whole, and 2.5 million passengers visit Barcelona from cruise ships. 3.6 million people use the port for cruising. A lot of people land in Barcelona, get right on a cruise ship and go, or they come in for a day or two and go. But 2.5 million where the ship comes in for the day, people get off, look around, get back on, and leave and go to the next port. It is the busiest cruise port in all of Europe, according to the statistics. The environmentalists will have you believe that Barcelona is choking from all the exhaust fumes from cruise ships, and people are dying in the streets from all of the pollution. Truth be told, Barcelona port of Barcelona is the 9th busiest port in Europe for container traffic, everyday supplies that we all need. And about 2,000 container ships, as best as I can tell you, use the port in Barcelona to offload containers. Of course, a container comes off a cruise ship by crane, comes onto the ground, is then moved by probably a propane-powered vehicle to be stacked. But eventually, these containers get picked up by transport trucks, which are using diesel, and they are then trucked to a nearby warehouse distribution center. And these containers are then opened, and the goods inside the container are brought out, because they're brought in bulk, and are repackaged inside warehouse distribution centers and then distributed out to distributors by diesel-powered trucks. And they go to smaller warehouses, distribution warehouses, and from there they go to retail shelves, or they go to end customers. If you're buying a plunger for your toilet, it'll end up at your local Home Depot if you're in the US. If you're buying pipe, that you're a plumber and you need plastic pipe or PCB pipe or whatever, you'll go to a supply center for that. But all of these goods are trucked to nearby centers for further distribution from there. So when a container ship brings in 10,000 containers, it's offloaded onto stacks of containers, and 10,000 trucks are picking up these containers, moving them, and then tens of thousands of more trucks are moving the contents from inside these containers to wherever they gotta go. And of course, Barcelona doesn't only just receive containers. Barcelona is a place where containers get put on ships that will then go off. And so the reverse happens, with tens of thousands of trucks bringing product into warehouses for repackaging onto containers, or into containers, containers onto trucks, trucks to the port, from the port onto the ship and out. But environmentalists love to compare cruise ships as the big polluter of the world, that cruise ships are the biggest polluters in the world, and on we go. Well, the reality is there are 385 cruise ships in the water right now. There are 10,000 container ships in the water right now, approximately, and they are in every corner of the world, going 24/7. Cruise ships are quickly adapting with scrubber systems for emissions, but also for LNG-powered engines. A lot of the new ships coming out now, I mention to you all the time, LNG powered. And so they're going to be much cleaner burning. Norway just launched its first ever hybrid cruise ship, which works off of LNG and battery power. When the engine produces electricity through its onboard generators, The electricity goes into the engine to power the electric engine, but the additional electricity goes into battery packs to store energy, and then the ship can run through, say, the Arctic, through some ice floes and that type of thing at very slow speed on just electric power and silent propulsion and clean. These ships are becoming more and more sophisticated all the time. I wouldn't be surprised in the next 5 years we're going to hear and see new cruise ships coming out that will run a certain percentage of the time just off of battery power. And I'm thinking where that'll happen is in port. When a cruise ship comes into Barcelona or into Marseille or Genoa or Naples, these ships are right downtown because that's where the ports were built back in the Roman times. These ships will be working off of their battery packs rather than spewing particulate up through their stacks. The other thing that is happening quickly is cruise ports are quickly installing shore-to-ship power transfer stations right at the pier. So when a ship comes in, whether it's a ferry or whether it's a cruise ship, they'll just plug the ship right into shore power. The ship can turn off all of its engines and will sit there and have shore power for the entire ship. And that way passengers on cruise ships will still have air conditioning, they can still eat, they can still take a shower, they can still go to the bathroom. Everything will work, and the ship will then be unplugged when it leaves port, work off of batteries only until it gets out into the open water. And there the engines will be turned on to continue on its journey using liquid natural gas. That is the future. That is coming, and it's coming a lot faster on cruise ships than any others. Container ships, if you're a container operator, you can skirt environmental rules like you cannot believe, because it all depends on where you flag your ship from and where you sail it to. And if you're delivering goods to the third world and picking up from third world countries, you're not going to spend a dime on environmental anything. You're going to run the cheapest service humanly possible and damn the environment at the same time. You're just not going to care. But if you want to go into downtown Naples or Barcelona or Lisbon, Portugal, or into Amsterdam or a number of these other sophisticated ports, and including eventually the USA, you're going to have to run a lot cleaner than the old days, and things are changing. But 10,000 container ships to convert them over, billions, tens of billions of dollars. These outfits don't have that kind of money, and a lot of ship companies would go belly up if they had to convert within a year to these kinds of standards. But the cruise lines, the public pressure on cruise lines is nonstop. It's a lot sexier taking a picture of a cruise ship than a container ship, and then exploiting the environment against a cruise line. It's so much easier for these environmental groups to pick on cruise lines, to say they're the cause of all your problems, all the emission issues. They're just dramatic polluters and don't believe a word they say. Whereas the 10,000 container ships out there are just doing what they're doing and have been for centuries. But the kind of fuel that they're burning on the open seas and in these ports, think about the pictures that you'll see from time to time of people living in Taipei, Taiwan, or in Tokyo, or in Osaka, or Nagasaki, seaside cities where the people are walking around with masks on their faces. That's normal life in Japan, Vietnam, China, South Korea, Thailand, Indonesia, many major port cities. The population wears what are like surgical masks to protect against inhaling this particulate, and there's just not an outrage down there for cleaning up the air like there is in Europe and North America. The environmental movement in China has no power against the government. The government has all power. And certain industries are under pressure in certain parts of the world, and other parts they're not. Anyway, Barcelona, declaring war against cruise ships was the title of the show. I'm not sure if it's truly that. The city of Barcelona has 5.5 million people in the greater metropolitan area. It's one of the hottest, most popular tourist cities in the world. Many Europeans from the, of course, UK, from Ireland, from Norway, Sweden, from Germany, Poland, France, Belgium, Netherlands. A ton of them come into Barcelona or in that region every summer and hang out. A lot of Europeans have bought condos or timeshares in the greater Barcelona area, and this has caused housing prices to skyrocket. And people who live in Barcelona who are not well-to-do are hurting because they can't find affordable accommodation because so many people from the outside want in. And when the tourists leave, the condo stays empty. No one is using it. And the homeless are homeless on the streets. And so there's this whole movement about the current mayor of Barcelona named Ada Colau. She's 45 years old. She became mayor in 2015. She was once an activist trying to help people from being homeless. And she ran for mayor. It was a long shot that she could do any good at all. But despite the odds, she became mayor, the first female mayor of Barcelona, I'll add. But as a former activist, she's now in charge of the city. And now you've got to appease everybody rather than just your environmental friends and social activist friends. You now have to appease all Barcelonans. And she's got a job on her hands here. Let me just take a look here. A couple of statistics that people are using against cruisers is that only $80 US is spent by a typical cruise ship passenger visiting Barcelona. We hear this all the time in the Caribbean, how Caribbean island countries will say, yeah, a ship comes in and we were promised wealth from all these visitors, and they hardly spend any money. We just don't get any of that dough. One city official calls cruise ship passengers locusts, totally against them. The city, like I said, is handling tens of millions of passengers a year, only 2.5 million from cruise ships. I don't know how cruise ship passengers are the big problem here. There's only 2.5 million of them. But it is what it is. 14% of Barcelona's GDP comes from tourism, totally, completely. Many hotels, Airbnbs, cabs, buses, you name it, tours, a lot of money made by tourism. Spain had a tough time in 2009 and 10 when the financial crisis hit. The country of Spain had a terrible economic meltdown. Barcelona and area, there for a time, unemployment was as high as 45%, especially among the young. And this is where the activists are coming from, not the seniors who get pensions. The young kids, that was a terrible unemployment rate. It has come down a lot since those terrible days, but there is still too much. And young Spaniards or Catalonians who want to live in Barcelona or the area are finding it very difficult to move there and establish themselves there because the cost of entry is very high. Rents and acquiring their own apartment or condo unaffordable for many. The Barcelona seaport handles 1.7 million containers a year. And it's, like I said earlier, the 9th largest cruise port in Europe. Amsterdam is suffering. Venice is suffering. Dubrovnik, Marseille, a number of cities are suffering from over-tourism. Go into downtown Rome in July. You know what it's like if you've ever been there before. If you ever tried to take a tour of the Colosseum in July or August, get in line. Unless you've got a tour group, you've got a tour group to get you in. Same with the Vatican. Same with so many other sites in Italy. It is crazy, but the same can be said of certain tourist places in Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, you name it. Europe is suffering from over-tourism because it's peacetime. We don't have a war going on, and economics are better, but they're not great in Europe, but it's good enough for a lot of folks to want to go on their summer holidays, and these areas are packed. Anyway, there's a brief recap of what's going on here, and particularly in Barcelona. I don't know how the mayor is going to handle all this. The rumor has it that she wants to declare a state of environmental emergency in the city of Barcelona. She's going to try to limit the auto traffic in certain areas of the core of the city. We're going to eliminate vehicles completely, perhaps maybe every alternate day, or maybe 1 or 2 days a week only. I really don't know. I think she wants to limit the truck usage in downtown Barcelona, where a lot of pedestrians walk, obviously. There's talk about limiting, again, airport expansion plans, cruise port restrictions, I don't know what, and then how many vehicles and the speed limit of vehicles on Barcelona highways. She wants to reduce the speed of vehicles to more like 80 kilometers an hour from 100, 110, because they burn a lot less fuel and are far more efficient at lower speeds. She's looking for ways to cut the emissions into the sky to prevent people getting ill from all this exhaust from every machinery piece you can imagine. Anyway, that's the latest I have on that. We'll stay on top of that, see what goes. Love to hear your thoughts on what I'm talking about today, or overall about cruise ships and what's happening out there. Thank you for joining me today on a Friday. 28 of you have given me a thumbs up today. Thank you so much. 79 of you are here watching. Hope you had a good July the 4th holiday yesterday for those of you in the United States. For the rest of us, it was just another day, but welcome everyone to the TWB family here on YouTube. Nice to have you here, and I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Any comments that I need to address, or are there any trolls I need to get rid of? Always curious to see what's going on. We'll see what happens here with this one commentator. Thank you for coming by today and joining me. Appreciate it very much. Like I said, today, Friday, I'm on the air of this show. Tomorrow, I'm on at 2 in the afternoon Eastern time. Hopefully, I get my timing set when I set my show tomorrow morning. But just remember, it's 2 o'clock Eastern that I'm on Saturdays. And then I'll be back on Monday at 5 o'clock Eastern. Alrighty, let's say hi to who has popped in and say hello. Bonnie, thank you so much. I just saw that gold banner flash in front of my eyes here. Bonnie, thank you for your super chat to my channel. As you know how much I appreciate it. Thank you. John LeBeau is here. Chris B is here. Welcome, everybody. Linda Liu is here from Reno. John LeBeau, like I said. Who else have we got here? Allison Burt is here. Let's see, who else do I see here? Margaret Lewis. Hello, Margaret Lewis. Welcome to the show. Orcas, J-Pod. Mr. Stinker's typed in the wrong time. Yeah, Mr. Stinky, it's all his fault. That's why my show started late. I was probably distracted by Mr. Stinky and his shenanigans. Had to be it. Corvette Man 2013. Maybe Bruce is on a cruise ship that has lost power and he's drifting somewhere and he doesn't know what time it is. That could have happened. Could have, but it didn't. Who else have I got here? Vivian is here. Hi, Vivian from the UK. How are you doing? Shawana's Creative Circle is here. Hello there. Let's see. Margaret Lewis saying hi. Brittany Lockwood is here. Hello, Brittany. Welcome to my show again for Friday. Who I got? Chili Falls is here. How you doing? Ed Tolson from New York is in the house. Paul Wilgus. Paul, I hope you're feeling better. Welcome back. Rumor had it you were under the weather the other day. Tall Pines is here. Hello, Ed Tolson Jr. Okay, Bruce. In response to your title, if Europeans are becoming against cruise ships, how do you think it could affect prices here? Well, that's an interesting question. I would say that theoretically, I guess, if cruise lines were finding it more and more difficult and or very expensive to operate in Europe because of restrictions or higher taxes or port charges, that type of thing, they would move their ships elsewhere. An option is to go to where you're more welcome. That certainly could be the USA, Canada. That could be perhaps Mexico, Caribbean in general, obviously. Certain cruise lines, they may or may not be able to get room to come into ports that already exist in the United States. Like Miami is, you gotta be one of the big cruise lines to get in there. And same with Fort Lauderdale and Port Canaveral. Baltimore maybe, or Charleston, but Charleston's got its issues too. There's a lot of people who don't want cruise ships in town. Tampa, but there's restrictions on the bridge that leads into Tampa. And then there are Caribbean countries. There's like Guadalupe and other countries would love to have more cruise ships home port from their nations. The catch, of course, is how do you get the passengers down there to catch the ship and get them out? And also, how do you get the provisions in at an economic price? If you want to bring in enough food and alcohol and other supplies for, say, a 5,000 passenger cruise ship every week out of an island nation, and you want to run 2 or 3 ships, you're now talking 15,000 people a week plus crew that you've got to feed out of a small island nation. You're going to have to arrange a lot of shipments of containers into the island to handle the cruise ship passengers. logistically that might not be feasible. So you may be stuck with countries on, say, mainland North America. So we're talking Mexico, we're talking, I don't know about Guatemala, safety reasons. Again, how to get people in and out. Mexico can handle people in and out. Yes. Can you home port, say, out of, Costa Maya? Can you home port out of Cozumel? Easier said than done. Miami is so perfect. Orlando is perfect. Fort Lauderdale, perfect to handle millions of passengers every year for all of those ports, because you've got the highway systems, the infrastructure, the airports, hotels before and after the cruise, attractions before and after the cruise. Yeah, Florida is perfect. California, perfect. But I guess the answer would be, one answer would be that if, say, 15 more cruise ships came over to North America because they found that Europe is just getting, out of control, I guess there's going to be more supply and maybe prices would go down a bit. But the other opposite effect would be you're on a holiday on, say, the Royal Caribbean ship, and you're going to Grand Cayman. Are there going to be 8 ships now unloading every day instead of 6 or 5 or 7? I mean, it's getting kind of crazy in Cayman. It's a little crowded right now in some days in Saint Martin or St. Thomas. They can't handle another 5,000 passengers a day per island. That's no longer fun for the arrivals, no matter who you are, whether you're on one of the new ships or one of the existing ships. So this is, of course, as I have talked about before, why are cruise lines building their own private island getaways? This is the reason: overcrowding. In Europe, how can you do that? How can you build your own private getaway in Europe to avoid overcrowding in downtown Barcelona? Impossible. I mean, you can go to Cadiz, Spain, and you can go to Malaga, and you can go to Malta, but these ports also have got tons of visitors coming in as it is, non-cruise ship passengers and cruise ship passengers. Europe is becoming over-touristed in a way. Now, certain countries in Europe are hungry for tourism. Greece, certain ports, they're eager. Turkey is very eager to receive cruise passengers. But some places you just don't want to go. It's too unstable. And so it's a bit of a, catch-22. There are places that would love to have you, but you don't want to go. The UK, British tourists right now are finding that Tunisia is becoming too hot to handle. They're not feeling safe there. They're being warned by their own department for security. You don't want to be doing this. There's certain places in Europe you don't want to be going, or North Africa you don't want to go, which puts the squeeze on other places. And around it goes. No simple solution to this problem. Let's go. Purely Caribbean is here. Welcome. Let's see here. Who else have I got? Tom Henry's here. Hey, Tom Henry. Welcome, buddy, from Richmond. And Margaret Lewis says, I'm going to post a Europe map on Facebook. The Traveling with Bruce Facebook group page should just show how many cruise ships there are in the Mediterranean and the North Sea. There's a ton. Let's all give Bruce a thumbs up or a pause up for our Mr. Stinky. We got 37 thumbs ups or pause up. Thank you, everybody. Kat says, yeah. Let's see here. Roland Tucker. Hi, Bruce from Montreal. Gas here, 133.4 a liter. And it's 37 Celsius here. That is hot. That is into the 90s. We're into the 50s here, and gasoline in Calgary, 95 cents a liter Canadian, which is about $3.55 a gallon Canadian for a U.S. gallon. So $2.50 U.S. a gallon is what we're paying here. That in Canada is called cheap gas, folks. That is cheap gas. All righty, who else have we got? Cool Jazz is here. Welcome from New York, Cool Jazz. Cruise with us. Howdy, TWB guys and Mr. Stinky. Rob Slevin, hi, Bruce and TWB crew. It's 91 in Lexington, Kentucky, and my cruise countdown, 9 days. Right on, Rob. Daryl George, watching from St. Lucia. Welcome, Daryl George, to the show. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the TWB family today. Let's see. Paul Lucas, I thought I'd put up with you guys for a while. Thank you, Paul. Kelly Haston, 97. It feels like 109 in Pensacola, Florida. I'm trying to load up the RV and the 4x4s. We'll have to head out Saturday morning. Heat, exhausted. We're just exhausted. Unbelievable, Kelly. Brittany, I'm thinking about dropping a big hint as to where I could be watching you from starting January. Could be from somewhere in the state, a few states away from Louisiana. I have a suspicion you're going east. You're not going west. I think you're going east, and I know what state you're talking about. That's where a lot of my other folks are watching me from right now, as they do always. Brittany, got my fingers crossed for you. You just keep us posted when you're ready. Chris Beef, 95, feels like 107 in South Louisiana. Guys, you are 50 degrees warmer than we are on the heat index because it's cool up here. Who else have we got here? Nurse Nancy. Hi, guys. Hi, Nurse Nancy. Welcome to the show from Wisconsin. Nice to see you here. Let's see. Who else? Megan Frost is here. Hello from the surface of the sun. Is it warm where you are? Oh, man. Let's see here. Tom Henry is saying, hey, Daryl George, any suggestions on a good tour in St. Lucia? We did the hot springs earlier this year, Paul Wiggis and I. Let me know. So there you go, Daryl George. Someone's putting you to work right now. Welcome to Traveling with Bruce. Let's see. Who else is in the house? Let me go here. Shrek U is here. Hello, Shrek U. How you doing? Margaret Lewis, 92, muggy, possible thunderstorms this evening here in Louisville, Kentucky. Tom Henry says, I should have been at trivia here last night. I had 100% of the vintage questions figured out. One of my questions last night on the trivia show was I would give you 3 words for a television series, a classic TV show, and from 3 words you had to tell me the title of the show. We had some Star Trek last night, Battlestar Galactica. Tom Henry would have just picked those off like no problem, but he wasn't here. He was sleeping, I bet you. It's all right, Tom. It's all good. Let's see here. Tom Henry says, Paul Lucas booked my first back-to-back yesterday, 4-day and 5-day, both to Bermuda. Right on. Let's see. Who else have we got here? Hope you like Bermuda, says Paul Wilgus. Kirk is in the house from New York City. Welcome, sir. I'm glad you're here today. Let's see here. Hello, Bruce and TWB family from D&G Explorers. Hi, guys. I saw some of your photos on my group page on Traveling with Bruce. Looked like you had a great time on the 4th. Fantastic. Welcome back to the channel today. Let's see. The Big Explorer is at work. Dilly from Cat Rose. Right on. Who else is here in the house? Bonnie, I say, Bonnie, thank you so much, Bonnie. You're here. Pamplemousse, hello, Bruce, and all TWB family. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July holiday. Let's see. Chili, hey, Tom Henry, my niece was in your neck of the woods earlier at Vanessa German exhibition at the Fralin Museum. Alan Carter from Calgary is in the house. Welcome, Alan Carter. Kind of cold here, buddy. It's crazy. Jim Evans got to get back to on a ship having the typical cruise depression syndrome, CDS. Cruise depression syndrome. You gotta love that. Who else have I got here? Kenneth Connors, also the Caribbean Islands, is sick of those large cruise ships. Too many people and problems locally. Let's see here. Bonnie, I see your donation to the channel. Thank you so much. Peter, like T, more news over the Carnival ships. Nothing new on Carnival. The Vista is in, I think it's in Mexico, in Playa. You know, but I can't. You know, it's on its way to Cozumel tomorrow, and then it works its way back to Galveston. Should be in Galveston on the 9th of July. That's what, 4 days from now. So far, everything seems okay, considering how bad it is. And then from Galveston, she will go to Grand Bahama for her floating dry dock repair. That should be interesting. Let's see here. That's the latest on that. And on the Pearl, the Norwegian Pearl, she's in Barcelona. Passengers had to get off the Pearl today because it was the end of their 13-day cruise that started in Amsterdam. Those passengers were originally supposed to be let off the ship in Rome, but they found out 3 days ago they were not going there. Now they've been scrambling for 3 days how to move on from Barcelona. That's what they're doing. The ship, of course, is not going to Rome. There are 2,400 passengers expected to get on the ship today in Rome. They've been finding out the last 3-4 days that their cruise was canceled. A number of people had already flown there, and only to find out this news. Others were in the air when the news had dropped. Others landed in Rome, didn't hear about it until yesterday. Having been in Rome a day or two already, they still didn't know, and they found out yesterday. I'm sure there are people finding out even today that their cruise is canceled because they were either out of touch couldn't got a hold of. They booked through a third party. What a mess. 2,400 people in Rome, or supposed to be in Rome to get on that ship, and there is no cruise happening. What a mess. What a mess. I don't know anything about the firework, about the repair job that's going to be done on this ship, where it'll be done, how long it'll take. That we'll try and stay on top of, and hopefully the ship will be back into business in the not too distant future. It's supposed to be back on the what would that be, the 13 plus the 5th, yeah, the 18th of July, something like that. We'll see. All right, who else is here? Any more folks coming by here? Shrek, you is saying Brisbane just got the aircraft carrier Ronald Reagan coming to Australia. Very good. Susan R, hi all, hot in Virginia. The Stitcher app advertised on your channel, Bruce. That's interesting to know. Thank you for telling me that, guys. Love to know who's advertising on my channel to you. Is my big TV acting up, or is the stream lagging? Is being asked by DNG. If you're on a smaller device, I'm probably coming in clearer than on a larger device, but that's all I can tell you. It might be your internet. I don't know. Let's see here. Sylvia's here. Seems like it's getting ready to storm here, getting dark out. That's what happened yesterday. In those storms, I could have went to the fun of the 4th, but I was afraid if it would start thundering. There you go. That time of year. Welcome, Sylvia. Robert Scott, Pittsburgh, 79 degrees. 20 thumbs up to you, Bruce. 28,400 subs right around the corner. That's true. Very close to 28,400. We are coming. Who else have we got? Bonnie is saying it's miserably hot in South Florida. I'm staying inside with the air conditioning on. Latita Woody, hello from Texas. Hello, Latita. Welcome to the show. Fabio Montiero, what do you have to say about Cunard? Thank you. What do you think about Cunard, Bruce? Very nice cruise line. 5.5 stars, generally speaking. Well-run cruise line. They have, what, 3 ships now? They've got a couple more on order. Number 4 on order, and I think a number 5 coming behind it. Lots of additions coming and changes coming, but all for the better. The Queen Mary 2 crosses the Atlantic as a true ocean liner, and it gets kudos from all who board her. So good stuff about the Cunard line. All righty. Let's see here. Anybody else? Dave, St. Francis, Minnesota, in the house. Welcome, Dave. And then David Orcutt is here from Maryland. Looking forward to an Alaska cruise next month. Fantastic. Who else have we got here? Ashley Fife. Hello, everybody. Hi, Ashley. Welcome to the channel. Robert Scott saying, hey there, D&G. Linda Dahl is here. Hi, Bruce. Hot here in Lee Valley, Pennsylvania. 88 degrees, but it feels like 97 because of that humidity. I believe it. I remember living in Southern Ontario when I was a kid. Oh, it felt awful. We stayed in the basements back in the 60s to try and stay cool, the days before home air conditioning became normal. Became a normal part of life. That took until about the 70s when we finally got air conditioning in our house. Lived in the basement in the summer, absolutely. Who else have we got here? Let me say hi to anybody else that's popped in to say hi to me. If you're new to the channel, please say hi to me. I'll say hi back. Terrence Shaw, did Royal Caribbean ever get their $18 drink package glitch fixed? They fixed it within an hour, but first they posted an $18 all-you-can drink package, and a bunch of people jumped on that deal. Then they found out that that was a mistake. Of course it was. Royal Caribbean wanted to take it away. There was a big protest about it. Then Royal Caribbean said, all right, all of you who got it, we'll honor it. You can drink for $18 a day. But that deal is now over. It's going to be some happy sailors on some of those ships. I'll tell you. Pamplemousse, there is a juniors in Times Square now. Interesting. Let's see. Paul Wilgus. Cheesecake. Let's see. Cheesecake. I've just screwed up my channel here. Sorry, folks. I'm hitting the wrong button here. Sorry about that. And now I've got to find the comments where I was. Oh my gosh. Yes, this does happen from time to time. What are you going to do? No idea where we are. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting close. Coming back into it. Sorry, folks. All right, we got the Cunard comment. Hello from Maryland. Looking forward to Alaska cruise next month. So David, right, got that comment. And let's see if I can get this to work. My big ass iPad is being very picky today, and it's not cooperating with me here. I'm having issues right at the moment, and so I may have to switch to my phone. So folks, sorry while I work the glitches out, but what can I tell you? It's just the way it is. There are times where things work well and times they don't want to work. No, I think it's just that the iPad's just freezing. Alrighty, let's see here. Cat Rose, meow meow, Mr. Stinky. Thank you for being here, Cat, as always. And let's see here. Oh my gosh, folks, I don't know where these comments are coming from. I'm not sure where I'm at. Bonnie Bernstein says to Paul Wilgus, I used to love it when I was a teenager, Broadway show and Tads. Vivian, whatever you were looking for, Derek, your feet. Paul Wilgus is loving these comments. Chili Falls, Bonnie saying, hey, Chili, any update on the crew member who went overboard on the Carnival ship? I haven't heard anything, so I don't know anything's going on there. There goes a Speedo Ready D&G, says Tom Henry. Bonnie says, my sister was just in New York and ate at Junior's. I remember it well, but the one in downtown Brooklyn is one she remembers. Fantastic. Peter, I like it, saying, sounds like 2019 is a horror year for cruise business. And there's one new ship getting launched in 2020 you absolutely want to see. Greetings and from an all-American fan. There are 5 new cruise ships launching by the end of this year. I did a video about that last week, and they'll be coming out probably starting October, November, December. A whole bunch of them coming out, including the Norwegian Encore, which is headed to New York. Kind of looking forward to seeing that ship. All the amenities on that one. And yes. I think I've caught up with all of your messages here. Sorry, folks. Just trying to stay on top of this. Anyway, there you have it. A little disorganized today. Sorry about that. Just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes the logistics work and sometimes they don't. Anyway, there you have it. That's Friday's show today. Barcelona declaring war on cruise ships. I'm not sure if that's really a big deal or not. That might be more bluster than reality. We'll see. I think they might complain about only $80 a person coming in, but you multiply that by 2.5 million people, that's a lot of dough. And a lot of businesses do very well, thank you, from cruise ship passengers in Barcelona and other ports. And I think if cities tried to cut out cruise ships, there'd be a huge howl of protest from a bunch of businesses. And I think a number of cities would find that their tax revenues would plummet dramatically, which means you'd have to raise taxes on everybody else. And that isn't going to go over very well either. But again, some cities are perhaps a victim of their own success. It's just the way it goes. Tomorrow I'm on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I invite you to join me. If you can pop by, we'll have some cruise ship news, whatever's going on. Plus, we'll dig up some trivia for you. See if I can put something together tonight. Look forward to having you coming by. Again, thank you for being here today. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay warm, stay cool, depending on how it is where you are. And Netherlands, Peter saying, thanks for the great info today, Bruce. Greetings from the Netherlands. Enjoyed the show. Thank you, Peter, so much. Appreciate all of you from around the world who join me daily, Monday to Friday. I appreciate that. Again, there you have it. That is the show for today, I think. We're going to pack this in, and I'll get back to work on what's going on out there and see if there's any videos I need to upload the next day or two. And we'll see you tomorrow. After that, we'll see you on Monday at 5 o'clock. All right, guys, have a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are. Hope you have a great weekend. I'll try to do the same here, and we'll pass on the kindest greetings we can to Mr. Stinky. He is right now sleeping over here on the bed. He's all curled up, and he's doing what cats do very well, sleep. He's not putting on a show for us, I'll tell you that right now. Maybe tomorrow at 2 o'clock he'd be more active. I don't know. I know if I did a show at 1 in the morning, he'd be all over us. He'd be just doing all kinds of stuff. He'll fetch, he'll do it all. We'll see what's going on. Everyone's saying their goodbyes. D&G Traveling Bruce, I just realized I'm uploading a video and using Bluetooth to watch your show on TV. So it's our internet. It's you. It's not me. All right. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks, you guys. Nathan's boat review and more. Bye. I just joined. You take care, Nathan. You have to watch the rerun to catch up what we were talking about today and check out what Mr. Stinky was up to today. Thank you, everybody. Bye, Stinky and Bruce, says Shrek you. Jim Evans, take care. Cool Jazz and everyone else. Thanks, you guys. I will catch you tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I wish you all a pleasant good evening. We'll talk to you later, guys. Bye for now.